All right. Thank you again for joining Rossum's product launch for fall 2020. I wanted to mention that we won't be taking questions or doing a Q&A this session, but if you do have questions, please reach out to your Rossum representatives. This will be a presentation and we'll get started. Just a second. Thank you.
Thanks, Jacob. I hope you can hear me well. Good evening, everybody. Good evening to Europe. Good morning to the US, and good morning to Australia. I'm very happy to welcome you on our Rossum launch in our office, in our empty office. This moment is very special for me because we will be presenting some of the new core functions that kind of embody our major beliefs, okay, today. And one of our major beliefs is that no one should be forced towards tedious, mind-numbing work. And when we say that no one should be forced to do the things all the way, it actually implies that everyone should have access to the new way. And accessibility and ease of use are extremely important in any digital transformation. And accessibility and ease of use have been always super important to Rossum. And we had a chance to prove it several times. We introduced the first AI system that works out of the box and can read documents without setting up any templates or any manual rules. Thanks to that, we were able to introduce a revolutionary user interface that is so simple and easy to use that end users don't need any specific training. And we also had a chance to introduce a powerful reporting engine that, again, is extremely accurate, gives you a lot of insights, and works just out of the box. So accessibility and ease of use is super important for Rossum. And it seems when you have those three modules that everything you need to do is to just plug it into your environment, integrate it into your workflows. But honestly, there are still some challenges on the way, and we will be talking about those challenges today. The first challenge that is out there and waiting for any digital transformation is that B2B communication is a very noisy process. And what do I mean by that? Our customers receive documents from thousands of senders, and those senders can send you the documents through multiple channels, which very often results in documents being sent multiple times. So our customers need to solve and cope with a lot of duplicates. You want to get rid of duplicates before you apply any data capture technology. On the other hand, a lot of senders actually send hard copies, so you need to scan them, and you usually scan them in batch scanning process, which means that you end up with a PDF file that contains several actual documents, and we call these documents merged PDF files, and you need to cope with that. Sometimes, on the other hand, senders send you documents that, or emails that actually do not contain just the actual invoice or purchase order. They actually add some additional non-relevant files like leaflets, logos, and so on. So again, if you're applying data capture technology, you need to get rid of those. And least but not last, documents often miss some important data. And in these cases, when you miss some important data point on the document, you need to reach out to the sender and need to let them know that something is wrong with the document because you cannot process it further. This is the group of challenges number one. And these challenges can take up to 35% of implementation and maintenance time for your engineering team and can actually take a lot of time for your end users. The second group of challenges is about customization. Look, we know every company is different, and every company needs to customize its workflows and business rules. But the truth is that in order to do that, you still need to have development resources you need to maintain your IT infrastructure, and you need to make sure that the connection between Rossum and your IT infrastructure is extremely secure. And those challenges can again take up to 40% of implementation and maintenance resources. So today, we will show you how we made it easier to overcome these challenges. The first invention that we are presenting today is native support for document filtering. What it means. Rossum, from now, natively supports detection of duplicates, automating document splitting, and also analysis and filtering of email attachments. These core functions are extremely useful when we are onboarding any data capture technology in the real world, in the real noisy world. The second major feature that we are presenting today is called custom functions. And custom functions are mind-blowing. You can actually customize buttons in the app. You can customize the behavior and business rules directly in Rossum. You don't need to use any external infrastructure. Any customization of the workflow, behavior, and even the user interface can happen directly in the app. Those major improvements can save up to 75% of engineering time and can take your automation efforts much, much further. So let's have a look. Let's try it. I will take you through the app and I will show you what it can do for you and your customers. Before we start, let me introduce our example company here. Their name is Dairy Products Ltd. They are a traditional food industry company located in UK, and they receive documents through emails and scanners. And obviously, as mentioned before, they need to cope with several challenges. The first group of challenges is about document filtering. So they receive emails with additional files, they receive a lot of duplicate files, and obviously they scan PDFs into the merged files. So before we start, let me just explain what we can see here on the screen. We have here user interface of Rossum used by Dairy Products Ltd. And here we have a mailbox of their vendor, of their sender. So we will be simulating situation when we have the sender here and their app and our customer's app here. Before we go to the customer's app, let me take you to the sender. As you can see, it's just fake, email, Gmail account here that we used for sending documents for these examples. And if I go to the send files here, as you can see, today in the morning, I actually sent an invoice to Rossum. We have the invoice here, but we don't have just the invoice. We have additional files, additional images, just some noise that you don't want to have there. And as you can see, we open the queue here in the customer's account, and all this noise is not there. We have just invoices. So filtering out the noise was easy. We have here the actual document that I sent today in the morning in 11 a.m. And what very often happens that the same document gets some other channel and gets to your processing pipeline. So let's simulate that it happens here, okay? So what I will do, I will just upload the document again. I will use the same document and upload it. And what we can see here, that this little icon appeared. This is a new thing. You haven't seen it in the production probably. And what it says, it basically shows you that we found a duplicate file, okay? You can also see where the other duplicate file is, where in which queue, in which stage you can find the duplicate file. If you have multiple of duplicates, it will show you all of them, which is very important, okay? Usually you don't want to process duplicate files, so what we can do, we can just go and delete it if we want, or we can just move it, to some other queue. You can do whatever you want with the duplicate files. But the detection is super simple. So I just showed you, emails with additional files, easily solved, duplicates, easily solved. And the last thing we have in this stage are the merged PDFs. So let's get back to it. We have a queue that they use specifically for scans documents here. And you can see a new icon here. And what it says is suggested split into 4 documents. So let's have a look what happens if we click on that. As you can see, Rossum's AI automatically detected where those documents start and end, and it automatically draws the lines in between them. You can quickly verify that it was done correctly, and when you are happy with the results, you can just click this button and confirm the split into 4 documents, okay? Which automatically splits the documents, and now you can see that we don't have 1 document, we have 4 separate documents which are currently being processed by the AI again. So far, we solved super easily those 3 problems. That was easy, right? But here we are when the things get more interesting. And those are internal business rules. This company has actually quite complicated business rules that we wanted to cope with. And we use custom functions to solve those problems. The first challenge that they have are documents with missing values. Those documents, as I already said, very often require communication with the sender. You need to let them know that the document is not valid and you cannot process it. So let's get back to the SKU and let's open this document. We have a document here, but as you can see, I cannot confirm the document. And why? Rossum is set up for this customer that we cannot accept document without purchase order number. Purchase order number, in this case, is required, and we cannot confirm the document, okay? So usually, in this case, you would go to an email account, and you would try to chase the sender and telling him, look, I cannot process it. And it can take you enormous amount of time, okay? But what we have done here, we've added a button, inform sender, and we have a specific custom function attached to this button. So you can see a lot of customization in the UI that was done specifically for this user. I will click this button, and I will wait a couple of seconds, and we have a message here that the notice to the sender was sent. So what happened actually in the background? We actually automatically extracted an email address from the document, and we sent an automatically generated notice to this email address. You might ask, what if the document doesn't contain the email address? There are actually multiple sources for email addresses. We can use email addresses stored in the ERP systems, or we can use the email address that was actually used to send this original file. So I send the notice, and now we can get back to the inbox, and let's see what happened. I come here to the inbox, and what I see is an email from Dairy Products Ltd. Let's open it. And what we see here, we see automatically generated message that says your invoice is missing a PO number. And we automatically describe the invoice ID so that they can find it in their system. We tell them when the invoice is due to, and we basically tell them, look, the invoice is missing the purchase order number. Unfortunately, we cannot process this invoice. You need to send us the new one. And you can actually send us the new one, by either clicking this button and re-uploading the invoice, or you can just reply to this email. You can upload the new version easily here. Okay, by doing, if the sender does this, the invoice will automatically appear in the customer's account in a couple of minutes. So documents with missing values were solved, and this communication, bidirectional communication, was optimized heavily by implementing a custom function and expanding Rossum's capabilities. The second challenge that is ahead of us is documents in different languages. Let me take it through that. Let's open the account again. What you can see that we have the document that I've uploaded through email is already here and being processed. But let's open this invoice for a while. As you can see, Rossum has extracted the line items here. You can see that we found all the columns, we found all the rows, but the challenge for our customer here is that the descriptions are French. These are in French. This document is actually sent by their French vendor. And the problem is descriptions are in French and units are in liters and kilograms. And this customer is actually running all their data in gallons and pounds. So what we have here, again, we've added a button, we build a custom function to localize these items to their metrics and their language. So I will just hit this button here and wait a couple of seconds. And as you can see, we have the line items translated in English, the units are in gallons and pounds, and the quantity has changed accordingly. Super easy, just like that. So you can see that internal business rules, pretty complex rules like translation, unit conversion, or even communicating with the other business party are extremely simple by extending Rossum Cloud Platform. What is very important before we move on is to mention that all those customizations were done in less than 1 day. Usually, it would take you months and tens of thousands of dollars to implement such a complex workflows in any other system. But we solved this problem in less than 1 day. What it means for you? It basically means that any implementation can be up to 10 times faster. You need 10 times less developer resources, and you need zero infrastructure for building on top of Rossum. And very good information for everyone is that we actually used one of the most popular programming language for custom functions, which is JavaScript. And there's about 12 million programmers out there that any one of them can build a custom function for you. And we are adding new language support very, very soon. To be honest, we already released that to a couple of customers, and they just love it. They say that it's self-explaining and it really helps them to fill the gaps in their automations and their workflow, and it was super easy to build it. And we are so happy to hear messages like that from Fortune 100 enterprises to smaller SaaS vendors. We don't want to stop here. We want to push this forward. So we are not stopping here just by releasing this feature. We will actually publish community-driven function gallery where everyone can share their ideas for extensions and custom functions, and you can learn from the others and share with the others. We believe that this will build an ecosystem that will make all implementation and extensibility of Rossum platform so much easier. We started to do this because we believe that B2B communication is extremely complex, and we know that combination of our cloud-based platform with these custom function will allow our customers to automate more B2B communication activities than ever before. And what is very important, one message from our development team, this is not everything. During the last 3 months, we released more than 140 improvements in the platform that are already there. This can happen only because we are purely cloud-based and all the new releases instantly in your account. So I showed you just really tip of the iceberg. If you want to learn more, please contact your Rossum representative and take it from there, because I believe that those custom functions can really expand all your B2B communication much farther. Thanks a lot and have a nice evening. Goodbye.